Picture this, a film with an $80 million budget shot on a camera you can find at your local Best Buy for under $4,000. A picture made strictly on concept alone without a built-in audience. A movie whose special effects surpass those with a budget of 3 times larger. It is something you would commonly hear in 2003, but the movie in question was released in 2023.
Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
The Creator is a story we all know by now that has been told in so many different ways. AI turns on humanity and microwaves Los Angeles. At least AI is getting something right in all these movies. We discover that AI has developed a new and completely destructive piece of technology, so we have to send our salty protagonist behind enemy lines in order to neutralize this world-ending weapon.
I don't want neutral, I want dead.
But oh no! It turns out the AI-developed world-ending weapon is in the form of a child. We have to escort her through our protagonist's personal quest of finding his missing pregnant wife. So really this movie is Terminator 2 meets The Last of Us. To name a few more reference points, you'll see Aliens, Blade Runner, Apocalypse Now, and Platoon throughout each scene. Co-writer and director Gareth Edwards teams up with Chris Weitz to bang out this screenplay that is a sample platter of scenes from previous films we know. Sometimes it works, most of the time it's clunky. It's sort of like the DJ who plays the show through his Apple laptop while jamming out like he's doing something. The opening scene we're given is a mosaic of newsreels of how the world got so out of control and progressed into a war versus the AI. The story follows the basic connect the plot dots that is highly predictable, with character arcs playing out in similar fashion. Basically, there's no spin on this story, so it's all left up to the execution. The Creator falls into the category of it's a matter of not what the movie is about, but how it's about it. And there's enough here for your testicles to love all these sci-fi spectacles. The future world Gareth Edwards builds here is lived in, used, dystopian, bleak.
This place is great! When can we move in? You gotta try this pole. I'm gonna get my stuff.
Now your boy here knows there's a ton of CGI in this movie. The problem is it's hard to point it out. I guess that's not really a problem though, because that's how CGI should work. The Creator makes the Flash's $300 million mega budget look like it was made on Windows 98. The CGI in The Creator blends well with the practical effects and is done with perfection, never once breaking me out of the immersion. The design of the Nomad alone, an orbital defense station that scans and destroys AI, is both equal parts stunning and terrifying. It makes me poopy my pants every time it was on the screen. In a good way though. It's capable of raining down destruction at any time at once. The performance from John David Washington as Joshua is there, and by there I mean it was caught on camera. He reads his dialogue and emotes sometimes, but it's never at the same time. You're on board with his character, not because you give that much of a shit about his motives, which are as basic as boiled chicken. It's mainly to explore this world that Gareth Edwards has put together. It's only when he meets the Alfie character, played by Madeleine Yuna Voyles, that the ball really starts to get rolling. Voyles steals the show, and you know her from such movies as, well shit, this is her first movie and she kills it. And while the plot and the characters are on rails, you still do care about these two characters as they weave their way through the horrors of war. That says more about a plot structure that has been used more than Taylor Swift than the actual writing itself. The themes at play here could have been explored within the same runtime, but ultimately are abandoned on the surface level. I get the feeling that this call was made to make the movie more palatable for a general audience. Which is a shame because the themes less explored here was what was going to take this movie to the tippity top. Themes of what it means to be human, of course. But also, are humans murderers when they kill AI? Why or why not? What is the difference between being born and artificially created? What does a god look like in the eyes of AI?
Does your computer ever seem to have a mind of its own? Have you ever visited a Chinatown section in a major city? Have you ever visited a flea market? Have you ever visited a truck stop?
Basic philosophical questions are sidestepped in order to play it safe. Instead, it wants to preach about love and tolerance of AI rights? It's a very interesting take, especially when we're on the cusp of AI infiltrating every facet of human existence, and the best the Creator can come up with is, hey, why don't you give AI a chance? Now look over there! Explosion! 20 years ago, this movie would have been seen as just okay, but now we live in a time where we are so starved for original content in the movies, we are wowed by the brashness of something wholly original. The creator comes off more as the anti-Avatar, a demo reel of how effects-driven films can be made. It's similar to Avatar in the sense that it's a world-building exercise, but not that much plot or character dynamic to sink your teeth into. A story that, in the near future, will be forgotten about. But anti-Avatar in the sense that it has a fraction of the budget to achieve similar, if not better quality CGI. The movie appears to be more of Gareth Edwards getting the itch to make a film again, rather than taking the time to flesh out his characters. His talent lies in fleshing out a world instead. And this is exactly the problem I have with filmmakers who emphasize world building over character building. The characters build the world, not the other way around. The world Gareth Edwards has concocted here in The Creator is pitch perfect, and I have to give him that. It's also ready for a decent script. The Creator does deserve its applause in terms of a modest budget, and it has me hopeful that more studios are going to risk taking chances on original concepts again. If you love sci-fi spectacles inside a decently paced movie, if you don't mind a stale plot with acting that sometimes matches it, The Creator is a good way to kill 2 hours of your time. It feels nostalgic where both studios and audiences alike are gambling on a movie. The Creator is by no means a jackpot, but it's not a bust either. If the studios are looking for a way to get out of the bloated budget movie, The Creator just blazed a trail. I'm outta here.